Okay, so now we have the model here. Not a great light, but it's as good as I could get it for where I am at. I just wanted to make making videos a lot easier so I could post some more, but I'll see how that works. So, here is a locomotive. As you can see, this thing is just beautiful. You can kind of see there's a bunch of added detail in the back here. Basically, wherever you see discoloration is where he probably soldered stuff. I don't know. I don't have a stock Reading T1 to compare with here, but you can kind of see all this extra discoloration up front. And I don't know if this was modeled specifically to follow 2102 or whatever one was running back then, but it's beautiful. It's got all the extra sanding detail and all the sanding valves. And then I think the real crowning jewel is the rear end. Yeah, don't take that out of context, please. So here is the back. Let's see if I can zoom in so I don't have to worry about damaging it. I didn't even notice that. I don't think that's stock. That little pan right there. But there, let's see. Oh, it's not that bad. Ugly fingers are in the way. Let's see. Okay. So here's the back. You can see there's a stoker pipe. I think this is just shrink tubing, but it's still kind of cool. And then here is a bunch of piping that he added. And then here is kind of like the crown jewel. So these had booster trucks. But, you know, from the factory, it was just kind of something that stuck down because that really inhibits the curving ability. This thing does not like 36-inch radius curves. So, it shorts. I actually don't think this is the problem. I think the fact is that overland front trucks are really short. So, the guy who did all this was a man named Joe Borrick. Sadly, he passed away many years ago, and I never knew him personally, but he was a good friend of my grandfather. So everything you would know from everything I will tell you about this is all that I've heard, you know, from secondary source. But he was just a really good craftsman. He did this for a living for a while, and he did some amazing work. Like, he stretched out the boiler on some brass engines because they weren't the right diameter, and rebuilt the entire everything, and added like all the steam pipes going from each articulated driver set and stuff like that. But I think the place where if you would know his work from is Tony Kester's Nickel Plate Railroad, which he did, I think, a lot of the detailing work on those engines and a lot of the maintenance work. I think he designed blenders, and then he actually designed some of the overland shays, and was one of the main proponents behind getting the correct drivers for the Jersey Central G4, which had the wrong size drivers. They were too big, and he actually got overland to make the right size ones. So I think that's a pretty cool little story. But that's about it for the engine. You know, this doesn't really seem tame, I guess, but for him, I think from what I've seen, is a tame amount of detailing and work. This is a beautiful engine, and I think I'm lucky to be able to look at this and show you guys about it. So I'll stop talking more, and yeah, enjoy the rest of this video. To speed up the Reading's speed freight service, they worked in conjunction with Baldwin Locomotive Works to convert 30 I-10As into new 484 Northerns. The numbers 2100 through 2129 were to be rebuilt in the Reading shops in PA. Beginning in 1945 and being completed by 1947, they used as much parts as possible from the I-10As to create their new locomotive. The first 20 were built exclusively for freight, while the last 10 were equipped for passenger service but never used in active passenger service. They were heavy-duty locomotives and saw steady work over freight service until the early 1950s. As they were taken out of service, the T-1s were kept in top-notch in good shape in the Reading Roundhouse. Many of them were saved to do the Reading Rambles, which was a excursion service run by the railroad.